With us is Charles Bobrinskoy, the vice chair and head of the investment group at Ariel Investments. Are you so pleased about MSG, I imagine? Charlie, welcome.
Very happy with MSG, but that's absolutely right. Part of the hard economy, the technology world talks about software and hardware, and we don't tend to talk about it outside of technology, but it's a very important concept. MSGS owns the Knicks and Rangers. We can do all we want with AI. It doesn't affect the fact that people still want to go watch basketball. And so MSGS is going to now split itself into two companies, the Rangers and the Knicks. They're right now on a combined basis trading way below the values of what you could sell the Knicks and the Rangers for. So we're very excited about MSGS. We're very excited about MSGE. The Garden itself is irreplaceable in Midtown Manhattan. And so hard assets, companies with real assets that are not going to be knocked around by AI is where we're finding opportunities.
What's more, Charlie, is a lot of people in the tech world are insisting that live events in person with real people getting off the internet, that is what the next generation wants. That's where the next big money is to be made, especially in a world where AI, you don't even know what you're seeing online anymore. You get comments from AI bots. You don't even know if it's real. Like, I'm finding myself spending more time on LinkedIn because I'm like, these are real people who I can actually connect with and see in the real world. And I think in a weird way, the rise of AI actually propels investments like those in sports where people are meeting and watching things in real life.
100%. I don't know about you, but I'm getting fooled all the time by AI video that turns out to be phony. And so seeing things live is absolutely positive. We're seeing great numbers in terms of live events. And of course, the big beneficiary of that is the Sphere, another Jim Dolan company. That stock is up, I think, 170% over the last 12 months. And that's taking advantage of this in spade. What Sphere is doing wonderfully is repositioning old IP like The Wizard of Oz and new IP like Metallica and having them play at the Sphere in a spectacular experience that you just cannot replicate on your iPad.
I don't know how new Metallica, listen, we don't have to get into kind of an old name anyway, but to those of us, it's always going to be okay, so you still are talking about the broader kind of hardware supply chain. I don't necessarily see the memory stocks in here. I'm not sure that's, your bread and butter per se, but do you see the Korean stock market crossing 6,000 yesterday? They were all celebrating basically because of the memory names. Where do you see tons of value still to be created and made?
So it's where I don't see value, and that is that one of Warren Buffett's greatest contributions to investing was the concept of too hard, that it's just too hard to pick winners in memory. And so I remember when I was younger and getting into the business, everybody was sure that Intel was going to be the big chip winner, and of course it hasn't been. I never heard of NVIDIA in 2005. So it's just too hard. So we're finding things that are consistent, sustainable, that I can analyze, that I can measure their economic moat. Some of the things that I think are not too hard are energy. There's going to be more demand for energy with AI. The biggest source of energy in the U.S., even electricity, is natural gas. And so the demand for natural gas is going to be going up. That is an out-of-favor sector that people haven't liked for a long time, that was trading at less than 7 times earnings. Lots of energy names doing very well. Lots of car names doing very well. The hard economy is where we're seeing opportunity.
Residio, was that a Honeywell spinoff? You like that? Yeah, the Honeywell thermostat business. That's right. You like that one. It's doubled over the past year. And what about PHINIA? That's the name we haven't talked about. As you mentioned, you also like Barrick Mining. You like APA.
Yeah, these are all hard companies with real assets. PHINIA is the turbo charge business in the automotive industry. The cars still are trying to get more and more efficient in how they use gas. This is the powertrain business. It's a very modest market cap. The stock got very cheap because everybody was worried about moving towards electric vehicles. Now, as there's more hybrids and internal combustion vehicles, PHINIA is very well positioned and, again, extremely cheap, trading at about 13 times earnings. So there's the theme that you haven't missed it. Value has outperformed this year by a lot, but these stocks are still much cheaper than the soft companies in tech.
And your Ariel Focus Fund up 35% over the past 12 months. I mean, that's pretty much doubling the S&P. You mentioned the big themes for you going forward. It's not just kind of hard versus soft, or maybe these are other parts of that. You've been talking about inflation for a long time. That fits in here. Just explain on tariffs and on Iran. Both of these are things that you say, these are the big themes going forward. So how exactly do you invest accordingly?
Yeah, this one is tricky. Whatever you personally or I personally think about tariffs, the stock market has made itself clear. The stock market doesn't like tariffs. The stock market thinks that tariffs are taxes. The stock market thinks that tariffs produce inefficiency, where countries try to prop up industries that they don't have a competitive advantage with. So the stock market liked the ruling that we got out of the Supreme Court. Everybody's talking about how Trump will get around it, but he's doing it with a 150-day exemption. And so after 150 days, he's going to have to revert to the other lower levels. So tariffs are very important because tariffs are very detrimental to the economy. The other is Iran is going to shake things up if that happens. The president would really like to not have another war. He campaigned on not having these endless wars, but he also will not stomach a nuclear Iran. If in the next couple of days we bomb the nuclear sites, that's going to have big impact on the oil market. And I think, frankly, it's going to be increasing the risk premium. Watch for Iran.